Hi. Hello everyone. I'm Mohoc, and this is Moleman with me.
Welcome everyone.
So we're gonna speedrun Super Paper Mario. Now, if you don't know this game, I can just tell you right away it's an excellent game, and I hope you will appreciate the speed game as well. So I'm gonna commentate in English, even though I'm French, so that the biggest number of people could follow what I'm talking about. So yeah, I hope you're gonna enjoy this run. I'm just checking if you're ready to go. Okay, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
So Super Paper Mario is the third part of the series of Paper Mario, but this one is is pretty special, let's say. Basically, Paper Mario was a RPG series. However, the third episode is more of a platformer. With some of parts of the mechanic, it reused them. However, it's really a new concept for this series. Some people like this, some don't. However, honestly, I like it.
They completely changed the formula, and it's a completely different game if you have played Paper Mario 64 or the Thousand Year Door. But it does have some merits, as I'm gonna try to present you. So, as you might expect, we're in Prologue. As an RPG, it's a story-based game, but it's not gonna be what we're doing. We're not doing any percent. We're doing the flip side bit of 100 Trials, which is an optional dungeon you can get into very early in the main city, flip side. And the problem is that we want to do it as soon as we can, of course, especially speedrun. Which means that it's gonna be very scary. We're gonna be low level, low HP. So I'm gonna try to be careful and as marathon friendly as possible. One thing to note is that this run is very RNG based, especially in the latter half, the actual pit. But I'll touch upon that when we're gonna be in the pit. It doesn't mean that you don't have ways to actually improve your gameplay. Yeah, that's basically what we'll be doing. So the run is in two parts. First 45 minutes, we'll be playing the game normally, up to chapter 2-1, which, if you know the game, is really early in the game. So I'm sorry if you went for the story, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, anyway, at the end speedrunning, we're almost never there for the story anyway.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful story, but not for today.
So we're still at the introduction. We'll have at least 7-8 minutes of introduction, and we could start the 1-1 level after that.
Yeah, to explain briefly the story, we thought that Peach was kidnapped again by Bowser, but instead it was a new character called Count Black. And we just met Tippy, this pixelized butterfly. She's like, we're going with her to flip side.
Yeah, important to mention that we weren't gonna save Peach. We're gonna save Peach today, but not the world.
Yeah,
just Peach.
As Mario, we only care about Peach. We're gonna see Peach in like 30 minutes or so. So in the meantime, we're getting our very first item, the Pure Heart.
So stairs are the key to open the next world. Currently, there's not. We need to open the world one, and fortunately, the first key is already given to us. So we just need to find We just need to insert it. Where is it belong to?
Yeah, exactly. So the game is like the way it works. It is chapter based. You have 8 chapters, and if you want to get access to the next chapter, you have to get the pure part and put it in the pillar, which we're doing right now.
Way more faster to just jump down and use the elevator. Anyway, the elevator will go two floor down, and we just need to go one floor below. So
yeah, we can just jump in the void.
Exactly.
We're just close to the pillar. I think it was intended by the devs. Like the pillar is just next to the spot you.
Unfortunately, as I said, there's no elevator that connects this floor to the up one, so we need to go down and go up after.
All right. So I'm gonna say a quick word about game versions because I'm playing on Wii U right now, which has faster loads. It's not the fastest. I'm doing Virtual Console. That's actually what's saving you time. Like if you're playing on disc with the Wii U, it still does not save time. It's really the Virtual Console version.
Some useless about the introduction of the save point.
It's not the fastest version. Japanese would be the fastest version, but for two main reasons, I'm not playing Japanese. First is obviously in a marathon, it's better to have dialogues in English. It doesn't save that much time anyway. And second and most important reason is that the Japanese version can crash at random moments whenever you get out of a door. So it's really not wise to run the Japanese version.
So we get the pipe return, which his only utility is to teleport us back right there.
Yep.
We're gonna use it 3 times.
Exactly.
One time to exit the World 2 after we done everything we need to before we're going to go mode for the bit of trials. And two other time on the city, since in this city we can still go back on one precise checkpoint, which will be faster to just stay here.
Yeah. So this item, the return pipe, is really a blessing in speedrunning because it cuts a lot of backtracking, as you might expect. And you can also use it in flip side. Like you go to the flip side tower whenever you use it. But that's gonna be for later. Right now we're entering chapter 1-1, and we still have to wait.
Yeah, so for the first chapter, we're gonna do everything as usual.
Well, more or less intended.
Yeah, more or less intended, but our goal is just to complete the chapter currently.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have other goals in mind, but I'll talk about it later. Right now, let's talk about the basics. So this game is a platformer, first and foremost. You can recognize like the layout of the first level in Super Mario Brothers. That's why the game is named like that, Super Paper Mario. We're gonna jump to deal damage on the enemies and everything. And because it's a Wii game, we're gonna use the Wii mode, right? Hello. Thank you.
It worked at least.
The hardest part in the speedrun, the motion controls. One little trivia is that the game was intended to be released on the Nintendo GameCube, but it ended up being one of the first games on the Nintendo Wii, and you can kind of feel it in the way it was implemented. Like, all you have to do with motion controls is either point at the screen or shake the Wiimote, which is pretty basic stuff. So it looks like stuff that has been implemented in the game late in development.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you feel it's like forced, since it was supposed to be in GameCube, all the Wii aspect of the game? Is it forced or...
Nah.
No?
Like, it's really, like, I would say it's really a curse that it was released on Wii, because the Wiimote is actually the only available controller.
Yeah, but the Wii is a good console. I like it.
That's not my point. My point is that it could be kind of awful to run on this.
Yeah, I know.
Like if you have to use it for hours.
So we just get a new item, which is a 3D mode. It's one of the main concepts of the game, so you can switch of the 2D to 3D perspective. Oh, and lucky
Iron
RNG,
drop.
we got
I'm
a
gonna take
drop.
that.
And which will be really important during the run, so it's really amazing to get a heal item there.
Yeah.
So here, what he does, he farms some points since the leveling is totally based on the score you get. For example, I don't perfectly remember which is the next level up, but it will
10,000.
be at 2,000.
10,000.
Okay, so at 10,000 of score, he will go to the level up. The level up will give him 5 HP, and the next level up will give him 1 more point of damage, and it's an infinite cycle.
Yep. And we're gonna have a grinding section coming up really soon, and I'm gonna stop talking because it's really important. Oh, that was almost
Okay, that
perfect.
was
All right,
still
that's
pretty
good enough.
good.
Okay, we're good.
But something we can explain is first, you see that the score was higher and higher every time you kill an enemy. The combo, you get 100 points for each combo skill.
Yeah.
So he started with 100 points for an enemy killer, then he finished with almost 1,500 at the end.
Yeah, it's
So this combo was really important for farming some points. And also something really funny is that he gets a power level up. So at the start of the combo, he needed two hit to kill enemy, and at the end he needed 1.
Yeah.
So so you really need to take attention of that and stay concentrated and ready when the level is on.
Yeah, it's a really critical section, as you might expect. Like, I got a ridiculous amount of points, like something close to 35,000 points in like 30 seconds. And we're gonna need points for the rest of the pit. As Molimon said, your score is your experience, and the better score you have, the higher your stats are gonna be like HP and attack.
Yeah, important to note that each mushroom give 1,000 points, which is huge. So we're gonna take everyone on the route, on the path. Sorry. So here you can just see that even if the climber is not entirely there, but it's just a graphic because the sprite is still totally active.
All right, little trick here.
And
You can
here's-
jump on the paratrooper to save some time in the ladder.
Here, it's not those coins are not mandatory, but it's a safe strat, and you will need lots of health item. So with more coin, you could buy it. You could buy
Yeah,
more.
it's a good time to talk about items. Like, we're gonna buy some stuff right away. We're gonna buy 3 fire bursts, which are attack items. Later on, that's gonna be useful in the pit. And we will also buy healing items, because there are no other moment, like there's no other moment to buy stuff.
So this NPC will open you the path to the next part.
Yeah, one of the intended puzzles in the game where you learn how to use the 3D mechanic.
Yeah, usually the puzzle on this game are pretty basic, nothing really hard.
Fun fact, if you don't say red here, the dude is gonna kick you out of the of the house.
And you'll see later on this part that it can
Don't spoil it.
Oh man, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Because you see, this is a red dude, so you might expect a brother. I'm not gonna tell you the color, but yeah.
Yeah, the
But,
dialogue on Paper Mario really took a really comedic path, so there's some unusual conversation, let's say it like that. It makes this game funny.
So I'm gonna buy 2 shroom shakes, healing items, 10 HP each, and then 3 fire bursts, as I explained earlier. That's gonna be good for now.
So the fireballs will be are needed to kill faster some enemy, since we're gonna be pretty low equipment, and so we need to use every optimized way to kill enemies, since at the pit of trial we're gonna see almost every enemy on the game.
Even late game enemies.
Yes, definitively.
Yeah, that's gonna be painful. Just thinking about it.
So there we're gonna get our first pixel. P-I-X-L. It's named like that.
Yeah.
No E.
Like these are the side characters in the game.
Oh.
It kind of feels like a downgrade compared to the previous games in the series. These are pretty basic side characters with no real background, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be useful in the run.
Yeah, this one will help on the next stage, but it's also totally mandatory, since there's an NPC who won't open you the path if you don't get him.
Yep.
So what it does, you can grab an object like this one.
Yeah, as if Mario didn't have hands.
Exactly.
Pretty stupid. Alright.
So
okay.
we just backtrack.
Just something I can talk about right now is that you might have realized it already, but whenever I start walking, I try to make a little jump. By doing so, I can reach my full running speed right at the beginning. I'm gonna do it again right now. See? So it's saving a few frames every time, but it does really add up throughout the run. So we needed this pixel so that the old timer in the village recognizes us as the hero of the prophecy. And you can actually skip this pixel with something called a live shroom jump, which is used in any % runs. You might watch any % runs if you wanna see it in action. But the only problem is that it's a frame perfect trick, and you can only do it once because you have to use a live room. So of course I'm not gonna do it in a marathon setting, as you might expect.
After that, it will be useful for the next boss on the next zone. So here,
a green dude.
we ask the man. No, we didn't ask him. We get it mad, so he kicks us out, and it tries to exit politely his house.
The fact is that whatever you answer, you get kicked out of this house.
You cannot even answer
No.
boot. I didn't
If you
know
say
that.
red, if you say red, he's gonna get mad. If you say green, he said, "You liar! You're wearing red." And if you said both, he's gonna say you're a hypocrite.
So level 3, it will be a short one. We'll do a skip.
Okay, so I'm gonna grind points as well. It's way easier than what I've done in 1-1 with the squigs.
Yeah, so the Triple Mario is just a multiple clone of Mario. And we have also a speed up boost, which will triple every score you're gonna get by killing enemy, get item, while the speed up is active.
Yeah, because points are tripled, it's very interesting to grind points here. Like, I'm only losing like 10 seconds or so, and I'm getting close to 15,000 points, so it's worth it.
Now you'll see a beautiful skip there.
So we're taking a squig with us. Actually, the purple squigs, not the pink ones, because they throw projectiles. We're gonna make good use of one of the projectiles. You see, I should be hitting the switch to activate the mechanism, but
Beautiful.
I can just jump on the projectile, saving a few seconds.
So here we go, our first boss.
My favorite character. Please welcome Ochans.
And unfortunately, the only one Count Black minion we're gonna match in this run.
Yeah, it's the only mid boss, I would say.
Yeah, also.
Okay, I'm.
So here we're gonna do a strat to stun lock him. If you hit him, he always just jump.
Okay.
And we will try to buffer our jump to be right at the time he's gonna jump like this. And he's just gonna
Okay.
do anything.
The beginning was kind of a struggle, but the end was really good.
It's pretty hard to do the stylist move on the Wiimote, honestly.
Yeah. So the way you get stylish moves is to shake the Wiimote, which can be kind of difficult to get right. I mean, it's more difficult. It's less reliable than just pushing a button.
And this is why it's sad that the game didn't release on the GameCube. They could do bad energy there.
Okay, so I'm doing a trick here.
Oh no, it's totally on
I'm
purpose.
getting-
Even the
Let's go first try. So I'm
did
using
it.
this ice table. So first, like the way it works is that I grab the enemy with throw, the pixel, and I get hit. And by doing so, the enemy is going to be higher than usual. And it's barely high enough so that if you jump on the enemy, you can directly reach the door. Saves like 10 seconds. So I'm glad I got it first try.
Do we have a moment for a donation?
no problem.
No, go ahead.
We got the $5 from Manix saying, "Oh yes, Super Mario."
Hi Manix,
Thank you very much, Manix.
and thanks for this donation.
Thank you.
So last level of this chapter, since we're on a Mario game, so 4 level.
All right. So you have 4 sub-chapters per chapter. So this is the last one
Exactly.
with the boss fight at the end, as you might expect. There are a few tricks, but first, I'm gonna play super safe and get an item I usually don't get, which is a life room. You know, marathon setting.
Yeah, live room. If you play previous Paper Mario, it's the same utility. You die and you relive automatically.
All right. What makes life room really cool is that it is automatically used if you go to 0 HP. So even if I don't pay attention to my HP, which I'm not gonna do anyway, all right? But yeah, it's extra, like to be extra careful. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk for the next room because there's a pretty difficult trick coming up. We're gonna need a key, as the one I got, but we're gonna skip a section of gameplay.
Yeah, we're gonna skip a key and immediately get another one. So there, we're gonna try to clip and this edge.
Sure. First,
It's,
what?
oh, okay,
Okay.
that didn't go well.
Okay, we can try it again.
Look like better.
Okay, that was painful. And as you can see, I can go behind the blocks and get the key. Whew.
Yeah, it was one part of Mario was out of bound
Yeah.
of the screen, so it messed up the perspective on 2D.
Had to save time.
Wiimote utility.
That was really slow, but at least I got to show it in the marathon setting. Okay. Oh. Get in there! Yeah, sometimes the perspective can be
Yeah, you can see that every time we reach the countdown of the 3D bar, we took 1 HP. It's not a big deal, honestly, but
Yeah,
you just needed to jump before you took the hit, because the hit will stunt you. So you're gonna
if you take the hit in this ladder, you jump out of the ladder.
Also.
If you're on the ground, when you take the damage from the 3D meter, you get you get stopped by the damage. So what I'm doing is whenever I take damage in 3D, I jump, and I keep my momentum by doing so. So it's kind of micro optimization throughout the run that you have to actually pay attention.
So we're now at the end of the dungeon. The boss is coming up.
Alright. Quick puzzle. It's always the same code.
Fortunately.
Do you imagine if the code was different every time? Like, in general, in this game, all the codes, like, that you have to enter, they're always the same. There's no randomness. So, if you learn the run, you learn it once and for all, which is pretty convenient, not gonna lie. Alright.
So some HP and some XP points.
Yeah, I'm getting the mushrooms more for the experience because it's 1,000 points every time you get a mushroom, and you only lose like 1 or 2 seconds, so it's really worth it, in my opinion.
So for the lore of the boss, it's a guardian of the key which will unlock you the second chapter. However, you will see in 20 seconds that he's gonna be corrupt.
Yup. But not alone. Like, we're gonna meet one of the best antagonists.
Yeah, which the
story.
only time that we're gonna meet him.
Unfortunately.
So there is Dimencio.
Hi, dude. I hate you.
So there's a big lore about Dimencio, so we won't gonna spoil it. But, do the game and you're gonna see.
Beep, beep.
So there is a boss
Hamsters not found.
with lots of geek references that we won't gonna read there, unfortunately.
Alright, so if you wanna go to the bathroom, take a drink or anything, go ahead.
Well, there's still
There's
the
nothing to do.
there's still the intermission with Count Blake and Peach after that, so
Alright, so we're gonna close the stream now.
boys, man, seriously.
Just wait.
Yeah, so it's pretty
Okay.
well,
Yeah, I
you
need to
see,
go left. Sorry.
slow boss. Fortunately, we will only see one cycle of that.
If I don't fall down.
You won't gonna
Could
fall
happen.
down.
Could happen.
You won't gonna fall down.
Yeah. Not trying to jinx myself. Okay.
So he told you to flip in 3D because he's coming, yeah, and this perspective only.
Yeah. We go on their back, and the way to defeat this boss is to throw these little enemies on the antenna. So you throw 3 enemies, and you do it 3 times.
So he asks you to get out. However, you will see in 2 seconds that he's not really bright.
Like, one thing to note is that the enemy spawns are not RNG. It's position based, like depending on where Mario's positioned. So I'm always doing the same thing. I'm gonna show you the spot.
Okay, so
It's
3
right
cycles
here.
should be good for killing him.
That reminds me in the 90s when your TV was not working well, you were throwing rocks at your antenna.
What? You didn't understand, sorry?
I was throwing rock at the antenna on the roofs, so the same thing.
But
Yeah, because you're maybe too young to know what's an antenna, and now things were working before.
yeah, it's a memory. This game is a memory of the older generation.
Exactly.
Yeah. In general, 3 is the magic number.
People like me remember.
So,
All right.
so it is the end of this chapter. Now, lot of cutscene. If we have donation, that will be a good time.
Appreciate the music, but
Well, go ahead, buddy. Make donations.
Um, Okay. Unfortunately, my cell phone is at 2%, so I even if I try, I don't think I could. Sorry.
I'll just take
I
that
know
time
it's,
to complain, to make a complaint.
I know
Like
it.
in this game, unlike all the games of the series, you actually have to mash 1 and 2 to skip the dialogues. And in the older games, you just had to hold the button. And so I'm just like my hands are gonna hurt by the end of this run. I can already tell you that.
So there it is, end of the first chapter.
Yeah. Always saving, of course. You never know.
Unfortunately, he has used to save before the cutscene, not after.
Let's go. And your mashing is actually relevant to your final time. But it's more true for any person. Like, this is a much shorter category. We have to go through less dialogue. Like in the flip side pit, there's no dialogue at all. But I will have all the things to have in mind by this point. All right, making progress in the story right now.
So, Peach moment.
Hey, it's Peach. But where are we?
I like the ambience here.
Yeah, it's
Too bad that we won't. That's too bad that it is the last world. Sorry for the spoil, but too bad that we won't heard this music again after.
yeah.
But at the next intermission, the end of chapter 2, we heard it again, but never after. It's for me, it's sad.
In general, they did a really good job. Like about the atmosphere.
Definitely.
I do prefer the atmosphere in the first Paper Mario game, but that's just me, you know. I like that the childish note.
This game, they still did well, but honestly, Sticker Star, however, well,
Let's not talk about that.
I definitively stopped playing it, Paper Mario, after Chapter 2 of Sticker Star. I didn't even buy the next one.
I have played Sticker Star after the other ones. It's not a bad game, but it feels pretty empty compared to the other games.
For me, it was fatal. The emptiness. I heard that Scholar Plus was better, but I never tried it myself.
Neither did I, and I have no excuse. I have a Wii U. Shame on me.
Oh yeah, I have the game. Okay, it's not. I didn't buy it myself. It's my sister, but the game is on my home, and I didn't play it.
You gotta share games with the siblings. Blah blah blah. All right. Yeah, this is gonna be one of my favorite moments in this story. Like, Peach is in a dead end. She's about to get hypnotized, but somehow she can escape. And Nastasia, the girl, is like, "What happened? Whatever, man. I don't care." Like, that was pretty quick. I was like, you know, this exact moment, if you play the game, it's like a clue to who is the true final boss of the game. I don't know if you can, like, if you can tell, like, if it's like a spoil 12 years after the release of the game.
Yeah, but anyway, we speedrun the game, so if they stay there, they're sure that they're gonna discover something.
I mean, you're watching a speedrun, you would be expected to be spoiled.
Exactly.
But don't worry. As I said earlier, we're not completing the full story. So you're good. Stay with us.
So the second key, so we just need to... I don't know how I said it.
Say, yeah, these guys.
We need to open the lock, like we did for the chapter.
So a girl just fell down. They're going right. So guess where we're going? We're going left, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good reason for that.
If I remember correctly, there's 2 inhibitors there, but this one is just faster.
Yeah, so we have to cook an item. Like the girl that fell down from the sky is actually Peach.
It'd be, since it's a speedrun, we exactly know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we can cook what she need even before we know that she needed.
Yep. The only instance of cooking, it's like an excuse to discover the cooking system in the game. Why not?
So return pipe, as we said earlier, we just delivered there, which is faster than the backtracking.
Let's go. That was really cool. Getting corners. There we go. Hey, I know this girl.
Oh. Yeah.
Also, I might say a word about Mario's sound effects. I just love them. Like the whoa. It's just so good every time I go through this section of this story.
Hi. Yeah.
I wouldn't be Peach like in this situation. You just wake up after force feeding, and
Anyway, at least that was a beautiful moment of sound effect.
like you don't know where you are and everything.
So, Peach is gonna join you on the road. We will need here to we will need here for the final boss. We'll also need her to face one obstacle on the next level. Next and last level we'll do before the Pit of Trials.
Yep. So Peach's ability is to float in the air with her umbrella,
Yeah.
but it's not useful in most of the game.
Yeah, she cannot do the 3D mode.
Yeah, like 3D is OP. That's why you're directly switching to Mario. Like,
where did you have the key for this block?
I got the key from Melon in
Okay.
the previous dialogue. That's why you need to save Peach, otherwise you can't get access. And if we can find a way to get there without this key, it would save a lot of time in this category. But for now, it's just a dream. So I'm flipping 3D right now so that I can take the damage right now. And I can turn right like this. When you're in... Okay.
So here, usually you need to use Peach to get there, but we'll just use an enemy and jump right there.
Yeah.
So it saves time for 2 reasons. 1, you don't need to switch to Peach, and 2, you should have a star. You should have go to the left, since it's a huge platforming part. So it's way more faster just to use the enemy.
It's kind of a tutorial section for Peach, this hat pillar. But we don't need it. We know how to use Peach, right?
We're speedrunner, man. So
Ah,
and
Répit
return pipe. Otherwise, my start faster.
You see, we were talking about the older games in this series, like TTYD would have really benefited from an item like that, like to cut backtracking. Because if you didn't know, like in the 1000 Year Door, which was the previous game in the series, you actually have to walk, like you have an underground system, but you still have a long way to go. Yeah, that's one thing they did really well in this game. They really got it right. Because you have a lot of stuff to do in this game if you wanna 100% it.
So chapter 2. We're not even gonna finish this level. We're here for we're
Hi,
here
Peach.
because we need a pixel.
Bye, Peach.
And after,
That was quick.
okay, we weren't gonna see Peach for a long time.
Alright.
So as I said, we just take a pix. After that, we use a return pipe, and we're in go mode for the pit of trials.
Alright. So I'm gonna kill these enemies. And stand right here.
420.
So there are 2 spots on either end of this chest. And if you're not in the correct spots, Mario slowly walks to one of the spots. And it's taking a really long time.
And how you know which is a good spot?
Alright. Yeah, there's a...
Or it's always a left?
it's either side.
Okay.
Alright. There's a cool trick here if I can get it. Let's go!
Nice.
You jump on this Gara Goomba and you just keep the whole section in the foreground. And now we're in the background. Just like in 1-2. And I went to the dude's house. And we have to go there to activate this switch that reveals the door. I'm gonna try to hit these Paragoombas on the way while I'm in the background, so that I don't have in my way when I'm on the foreground.
And some bonus score too.
Yeah, it's not a big deal if I didn't get all the Paragoombas. Alright. Alright, pretty good section. We're gonna play with the mini Marios here, because they can kill the enemies.
There's also a giant Mario here. We could have destroyed everything on the path. However, the animation is just way too long. So we won't use it.
That was a weird place to level up.
I hope they float on the water. Oh man, yeah, it doesn't look like they're all dead. You killed them. Why?
Why not? I don't have time, sorry. I don't care about the casualties. I just need to go fast. Okay, got it. Same thing here, 2 correct spots on either side. And because we're not gonna need to get into the pipe, I can just stay on the right.
And there is our second pixel.
Dude, the pixel dialogues are so weird. I just don't understand anything. Like, this is really puzzling. Like, if you remember, in this section, you have 2 choices every time, but it does the same. Like, exactly always. Like,
There's only, I think there is only 1 or 2 dialogue on the game where you don't have to press as the most top option, and 1 of 10 if you press the top most option, and instant game over on the final world.
yeah.
I remember this one when I was young.
Fun fact is that you can game over in prologue. Like,
Also, yes.
when
You can just we ask you at the prologue if you want to save the world. If you
Nope.
can refuse, and it's a game over. I think it's the only Mario game when you have the choice, at least. So we're in go mode. So we're gonna start. We're gonna go at the pit of trials.
there are other instances like that. For example, the second time you go to space, once you got the helmet, you can decide not to wear the helmet. And if you say no enough times, then TP, the butterfly, is gonna say, like, just screw you, just die, and game over.
Seriously? Okay, this one I didn't know that.
Yeah, this game is full of such trolls.
So the pixel, the bomb is gonna be. It's not. It's not mandatory, but it will be a huge help for some enemy, since it's a huge DPS thing. So if some enemy have a high defense, it could be the most optimal way to hit them.
Alright. Okay, so now we're heading to the pit by the outskirts.
Still, you didn't do any glitch, and you can do at this pit.
Yep.
Even before finishing this chapter
Yeah,
2.
that's-
It's wrong.
Okay. Last time we can save in the entire
Yep.
run.
And after that, we're in 1 hour on this pit.
Alright.
So,
let's go.
wish him luck.
Alright.
So,
There we go.
everyone will look like that. The rules are there's one key on the room, one enemy randomly have it, and you need to unlock the door to go to the next room. You have 5 minutes to take it, but usually it will never go more than 30 seconds, so don't take attention of,
It's
the,
never
of
a
this thing.
problem. So what's going to be very important is to kill enemies in an efficient way. So enemies are like the enemies that has the key is not the same. Like it can change. The location of the enemies can differ, but the layout of the room is consistent. So like this room 3 is always gonna look the same. So I can use this to my advantage.
Yeah, which is not RNG, is the platform pattern, the number of enemy and which type of enemy you're gonna have, but everything else is RNG. Where the enemy will be, which one have the key, where you will starting, where the exit door will be, everything of that is random.
Like I would say the worst thing is actually the door location. Like the door could be in different spots. You have to be careful, pay attention to your surroundings every time. So there is really no downtime in this category. That's gonna be 50 minutes to an hour of intense effort. So it's gonna be harder for me to talk, but yeah.
And each time you progress, the enemy will be harder and harder. And there's some interesting perspective since we're on a speed run and we're pretty early on the game. There's 2 things to know. The first one is we're really low in life, so we need to be very careful with the life. We have some healing item, but the most optimal trick to refill of life is to get a level up. Since the level up refill all of our life, we're gonna really counting on that to be sure to not consume too much healing item.
Yeah, you really want to use healing items only when you really need them, so that you can keep them later on. That's okay.
Fortunately, the poison, you're gonna take 2-3 damage.
Okay, so I'll have to talk about this. These enemies always drop a healing item that cures poison, except when they have the key. So this lucky RNG was actually unlucky as well, since I got poison.
So there's a checkpoint on each 10 level. There's a shop sometime, it's totally random, and which you can buy of this shop is totally random also. And we will need him one time for one specific room, I think. It's in the 19, somewhere at the 19.
We need the fire burst in room 21.
Okay.
It's gonna come up pretty soon. Anyway.
Also, another thing to know is since it's a speedrun, we need to be pretty optimal on where, for example, where will be the best pattern to check for the key first, to be sure to be near at the door once you get it. For example, he will need to do a huge backtracking if the key is here. Like this. If the door is at the bottom, he can use the 3D to go right at the bottom. But if it's at the top like that, it's unfortunate.
So the fire burst drop I got wasn't really interesting. It would have been interesting if I got the atom drop before I bought the atoms. Okay.
There is not a pretty good
See?
energy.
It's there. Let's see how long I have to hold. There we go. That was unlucky, but that was also poor movement management. Like, I could have gone up first. In general, it's good advice to go up first because it's always harder to go up rather than go down. Because if you're at the top of the room, you can just go to 3D and just go to the go down because all the walls are super flat for some reason. Okay.
Here you see that the bomb can't struck the wall. So we're gonna use it sometime to avoid to do a big backtracking.
Yep.
And we can use the 3D to make the key fall down. So if it's between two walls, it can be pretty useful.
Okay.
Okay,
I have room in my inventory.
Does it heal on Super Paper Mario?
No.
Not on Super. Okay, at the first one, I think it flower point at Paper Mario 1.
Like this specific item cuts in half to the damage for 10 seconds.
Okay.
It could be useful in some of the rooms. Okay.
Double it and the key.
Yeah.
Nerdadar.
Like
Pretty nice.
Like most of the time, I'm gonna try to hit multiple enemies with Boomer because Boomer is very slow to use.
Okay, and this enemy is a grey one that you see. It can give lots of trouble. We're gonna kill every other enemy before for the up to not have to have a match against it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, this Coup Patrol is kind of a troll by the devs because it's a very powerful enemy early on. And I could get in trouble if I don't have enough score.
I think it could kill you on 4 shot. Oh, they're pretty lucky pattern.
So let's talk about this. You can only hit the enemies that are on screen. And most of the time you only have 4 or 5 of them out of 6. But I had the 6 ones on screen. So I could just kill them in one go.
Yeah,
which I think never happened to me before.
It was a huge gain time since he would have either to use a second item or use the bomb to kill them, and I don't think it's not even one cycle to kill them.
Nah, it's 2 bombs.
2 bombs, so it will be horribly slow.
They have ridiculous defense.
Do I have a bit of time for a donation?
All right.
Well, we have Manix. Well, it's been a little while, but it was it was for someone who is not here right now, but told me to read it. Just for the context, when you did that dragon boss, and you said, well, it's going to take a long time, and I said, we're going to close the stream.
Yeah.
He said, Manix, give $5, and said, Ben, that's me, s'il vous plaît, ne ferme pas le stream, j'ai eu une longue journée au travail, j'ai besoin d'un peu de répit.
You see, Ben, what you almost done.
Yeah, it was a nice word games, and he dedicated it to Mooney. Thank you very much, Manix.
Thanks, Manix. So here, there's another enemy at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still somewhat messy.
Yeah, that was bad RNG, but that's alright.
Okay, so the champ, huge defense, but we can hit them with the bombs.
I don't care.
I think there's 2 of them, or there is only 1? Okay, I guess there were only 1 on this
There's
room.
only 1 here.
Okay. So I let you remember that there's a number of enemies are not random. So there could be lots of small enemy or 1 strong enemy. And if you touch this, you're stunned.
There's no use. It's no use!
Nice strategy there.
It's no use. They're gonna hit you before you can get out of your sleeping state. Alright, that's a good place. Here's the trick here. So these pipes have a 3D hitbox. And as such, I've just missed it.
Okay, okay, I
use them.
understand now. I wasn't sure when you explained it earlier to me.
I'm gonna do it again.
Of course, yeah,
It's just for the show, you know. That was on purpose. Come on, we can do it. Oh, I'm dumb. I can just do that.
Ah, okay, perfect.
Nice. I don't understand why I got in so much trouble. You see, sometimes these kind of situations happen, and like it happens so rarely that you don't know from the get-go what you need to do.
Healing item.
That's nice.
And unfortunately, it was the last one.
Not nice. All right. So yeah, this will be one of the like critical sections because as you can see, I'm starting to be quite low on HP. But I'm also kind of close to the next level up.
Yeah, at least currently nothing can one-shot you.
Yep.
Kill you, I mean.
So I'm gonna wait before I heal. Like, this is marathon settings. Uh-oh.
Oh,
nice.
Okay, it wasn't.
It's not gonna work.
Oh boy, it
No.
was a bad placement.
Oh, I thought I soft locked. Okay.
That would have been
Okay.
scary.
Oh my god, this has never happened to me before. If I didn't get hit, this could have been
Always in marathon.
a soft lock. Oh my god. I was sweating, I'm not gonna lie.
Still 6
Because-
HP. I think you can
Yeah.
take a hit before the level up.
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm just curious, where will we have restart if it will have soft lock?
The save
That
point.
sounds pretty far. Just that sounds pretty far.
But definitively, we go at the last save point, which was before the start of the
Yeah.
before the pit of trials.
It's,
Okay, so only 30 floors to catch up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only.
Okay. Only. Well, out of 100, that's pretty small, but
yeah, it's one really scary category.
Fun thing, they can pass throughout the wall and you can hit them despite their initially on the other side. But unfortunately, the key will drop on the other side, so it will be sad
Yeah.
if you kill it and then level up, so he gets his full life.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm full HP now. See, I didn't need to use an item.
Yeah, that's a speedrun strategy.
I'm just
and
that
low-level
good.
strategy as well.
Actually not. Actually not. Nice. That was really good. See, the door location matters as much as getting the key fast.
Also, a third thing that we didn't mention about going to the pit of low level, it's that we have, let's say, a poor item. You just have a basic mushroom that gives you 10 HP. You not have all the reliving mushroom of the 15 HP mushroom. Nope.
That is true.
Only novice item.
I just hope we get a shop at some point. No way.
Yeah, still no shop and
Don't tell me there was another one. No. Yeah. See.
well, there's the NoReset merch shop, but I prefer if you can keep it for the Répit Saint-Louis for now. Nice marketing.
okay, so we're almost at floor 14.
Okay.
Still, there are some enemy that we've seen on the first chapter, the purple, I don't know which are
Their name are Squicks. I'm
the
not.
purple squig were there at the first level, so... But I think they were we
this
only
time.
see 2 or 3 of them.
This time. So these enemies can be a real pain because they can go to 3D, and you really don't want to fight them in 3D.
Those ones can be stopped.
Okay, we don't need
Oh.
to shop anymore. Okay.
Great item.
Okay, so
We've needed an item to make damage, and that's go also truck defense. This one is perfect. If 5 HP guarantee against an enemy, and we will need it for our next stage. That's what we needed at the shop.
Like in room 98, you have red chumps. They have a high defense stat. It's faster to use an item on them. Okay, thank you. See, there was one dude at the top that would have been painful. That would have been a huge time loss. Alright. You have to know, guys, I don't like Magic Koopas. The reason for that is that you see the attack, which looks kind of like a hexagon. Well, even when they are dead,
so those attacks are still active on the screen.
Yeah.
Don't spawn.
So you can get hit a lot of times because of that. I don't know why they did that. Okay, good.
Nice key.
I mean, we got pretty awful RNG at the beginning, so it's only fair, right?
We can view this as that.
So,
And no shopkeepers.
but we don't need a shop anymore. I mean, I could buy some more healing items if I have room in my inventory.
No, there's
Alright.
guaranteed there will be at least one shop where it's possible to go why to never seen one.
Nice, that was really good. So this clue bass. Okay, where's the door? Okay, it's there. I just completely forgot where the door was. Okay, so clue bass are these kinds of enemies that are a pain to defeat because they have a lot of HP. They can be sometimes really problematic to hit with these narrow paths. You see these narrow hallways. The ceiling is pretty low. And they deal 3 damage. So you have everything to hate them. But you have fast threats to defeat them fast in certain situations. And we're gonna meet them again later on. So don't be surprised if I'm complaining about Clubaz later on. Alright. I don't want the key to be in the bottom right corner. Okay, good. Because in general, like you can have several door locations, but for most of them, the bottom right is the furthest from the door. So yeah, that was good. I mean, it's only a 25% chance to get by RNG, but at least the game gave me this. Oh, okay. We'll need to go to 3D and go there. Okay. I don't remember where the door was. See? Wherever...
It was,
yeah, it was here, so I didn't need to go up there. So you always have to be careful about that. I have no excuse here because I was there. Oh, okay. Okay, so
it's just
you see these square enemies that are called Tyloids? These are the worst because when they are on the ceiling, it can take a lot of time. Like you can't hit them when they're on the ceiling.
So those enemies where they have a black square on them, they will change to 2D to 3D if you do this.
Yeah.
And if there is no platform, like they're gonna fall like you. So at some time it can be useful to just make all of them fall down.
Yeah. These 3D enemies are surrounded by a dotted line. That's how we can recognize them. Okay, Clubaz again. So if you are behind the Clubaz, you can defeat them as I just did. And not only it's fast, it's also a safe way to get rid of them. If you don't have this luck, then you have to time well your jumps. You can't just hold left here. You have to time it. And it's really weird. You have to get used to it. But it's very important, as I said, because you can take a lot of damage, which I did actually already. Alright, let's go. Finally done with this room. Bad RNG. We got hit a couple times, but we're very close to the next level up, which is 120,000 points, so less than 4,000 points away. We should be able to level up before we need to use the healing item, right? Okay, I'm gonna wait.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay.
It's really easy to get a lot of points.
Yeah, true. One hit.
Yeah, see? I already leveled up.
And it was a HP upgrade this time.
Yeah, because you can chain the enemy, as I did in the 1-1 point grind, if you remember this.
Yes, but pretty funny to see that you can change the same enemy. You don't have more score, but you can have a score for each hit of the enemy instead of just you kill it. And there was a shop, but since we get a damage item earlier, we don't need them anymore.
Okay, so here I'm going to 3D, so that I can get a combo again, but with a shell. See, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's a combo, but it's different in the way it's done. Then you can just grab the key once everything is killed. But if you have bad luck and the shell had the key, well, alright. At least you get a few points. Okay. Alright.
Funny that those ones are affected by the dimension perspective, despite they haven't the square.
Yeah, it's way easier to defeat them in 3D. I would say 75% of the time, the door is in this top left corner, or you have to use the pipe, which, as we've just seen, is a very slow animation, wastes like 7 seconds. And in like 25 maybe % of the time, you get lucky, and the door is not at the top left corner. It didn't happen this time. So this is one of the rooms where we can just get good RNG once in a while. And you're just like, okay, good, I'll take it. I'd say the best way to go for this category is to take it easy, because not everything is within your power. So it's alright if you lose time once in a while. Most of the time it's not your fault.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, all these skeleton enemies are pretty slow to defeat.
And unfortunately, it wasn't one of them.
Whoa! I didn't see it! I didn't see it.
Dimension perspective problems.
Like Mario was in front of the clue bear. Okay. We're fine. Oh. 3 hits. What?
Big healing.
Dude, I have so many items.
Oh, no, don't throw that.
No. I need to... Nah.
I'm kidding.
Don't worry. I'm not doing something stupid. I just need to make room in my inventory. That's all. Let's go. That was good management. So one thing I haven't said about optimization is that you want the last hit to be with Boomer, because what? I'm sorry, but this is just insane RNG right here. But yeah.
Okay, those boo are so big trouble.
Okay, I'll go back to what I was saying. So yeah, you want the last hit to be with Boomer, because with Boomer, the enemy gets instantly killed, while there is a 1 second delay when you jump on an enemy. You might see it next time I jump on an enemy. And this 1 second time save can be quite relevant. Like you can pad up. Okay, I'll take it. That was god RNG as well. There are like 10 daisies in this room, and we got it on the first enemy. All right. Okay. So this is the good RNG again. You saw these magic blobs, like these magicians enemies that appear and disappear. These are some of the scariest enemies in the entire game.
2 shopkeeper in a row.
We don't need the shopkeeper.
Not
That's okay.
anymore.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna see magic blobs again quite soon. Like they're scary because there are always several of them in the room. Their attack pattern is pretty fast, so you can take a lot of damage pretty quickly. Okay,
Excellent.
I'll take it. That's great RNG so far in this segment. But I don't think I'm gonna beat my PB. Speaking of my
Which
PB,
your PB, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go for
I'll
it.
talk about it. My PB is also the world record. It's 1:26, 1 hour 26 minutes and 50 seconds. And I got basically just insane RNG. So of course we're not gonna beat that. My PB is only 2 weeks old. I was quite recent. But now I'm kind of done with the category.
Now you do the flop side trial,
Yeah.
bit of trial.
There's another one if you didn't know, which is even harder. And that you have to do twice.
You need to do the. I think you still need to do the flip side of trial.
Yeah,
So 1 time the flip side of trial and 2 times the flop side of trial, which is likely the same but at way harder. And we see the amazing RNG. However, not
I'm
so
sorry,
perfect
but
door position, but still.
it happens in like 1 in 10 runs. Why am I getting with this right now? Okay.
It looks like there's only 2 enemies at least. A tutorial told you that you low HP at the 65 floor of the pit of Trial. Pretty unusual.
Yeah, it's a shame. If you're really good, you can skip it.
But still, the 65 is still
I mean-
amazing. But I hope nothing can deal you 3 HP.
I'm gonna heal. I mean, it's my fault because I have so many healing items. I'm not using them. So, yeah. It's only like 3 seconds time loss. So, I don't really care about it. These are one of the most annoying dudes to deal with.
Yeah, the level up were just near.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the instances, like, if I could play slightly better, I wouldn't have needed to heal.
Yeah, but at least in marathon condition, it was definitively the best thing to heal.
Yeah. I don't want to use the life room for that. That would be a kind of a waste.
Hey, it's true that you still have a life room, I forgot it.
Yeah. I thought about it actually, because usually you don't get the life room. Like, it takes you 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I didn't have to go up there. I know I said that most of the time you want to go up first rather than go down. But
This room is interesting.
you can have exceptions to the rule. Okay, so this is one of the scariest rooms in the entire pit. Because these enemies deal 5 damage, which is way too much.
The key was just below. You missed it, but the key have spawned.
I'm just gonna defeat this one first.
Okay. Okay, you've
Oh
started.
no,
Oh.
that was unfortunate. I didn't react.
Oh,
Never mind.
Great healing item, however.
Okay. Okay, the game is with me this round. The game knows. The game knows.
Yeah, that's the good time.
fun fact is that it's my second time I'm doing this run category in the marathon setting. And the first time I also got very good RNG on items. So you might see kind of a pattern. Okay.
Classic enemy, all the way there since the first Paper Mario.
Oh, I got both of them. That wasn't my intention, but I'll take it. Alright. So they have so much defense, you have to hit them with the bomb first. Then, once they are upside down, you can hit them. What is this? Of course.
Unfortunately, it's
No! I wanted the bomb. There we go. To go down there. Yeah, you gotta be careful where you want to put the bomb, because it's a huge time loss whenever you miss a bomb hit. I don't need that. Okay.
seen one or two things that could be useful. Those cards can, if you know how Paper Mario work, you can use this card to instantly transform an enemy into a card. So you can collection every enemy card. One big advantage of this system is that instantly kill any enemy, but only one enemy, and you must not miss your shot since you have only one try.
Okay, that was good. When you get a catch card, you deal more damage on the enemy. Like you get a multiplicative effect. If you got 2 cards, it's multiplied by 3. If it's 1 card, it's multiplied by 2, and so on. I should have told this the other way around, but you got the idea. Okay. Okay, so one of the there are 2 reasons why we're not using Peach much in the pit. The first one is obviously 3D. As I told you, you can move around more efficiently with 3D. But also, Mario is the only character which can crouch jump. Okay. So it's like crouching during a jump. And it's very, very useful. Because, as you can see, most of the time you have low ceilings, so you don't have much room to jump on the enemies. And crouching really helps. You also have a few fast routes with crouching. Okay, this is scary. I think I'm gonna heal right away. Yeah, let's just use that. Okay. That was bad. Okay, it's good if you can get one of the badge blobs to spawn near a wall, because you can chain them. Don't disappear. Thank you, dude. And it turns out... that
And
it didn't
everything
have the
for
key.
that, unfortunately.
All of this for that, but I didn't get hit. So
Yeah.
that's what good thing.
1 or 2 enemies.
Oh my god, this is awful. Okay. Alright.
And I didn't even
It's
start the
useless.
door. Must be
Boomer is too far.
must be top left.
No, it's down.
Okay, bottom left.
No, it's up.
Okay, top left. So I was right.
Dude, why is it happening right now? Like, all the times I paid attention to the dual location in this room, it always was down there at the very bottom. That was my bad. Okay. Alright, so these enemies have defense, but for some reason they don't have any defense when you're hitting them with Boomer. So you deal much more damage. Hey, that was a triple hit. And the key. Alright, so we're starting to get to the very last rooms. Last 20 rooms.
There's 20 left.
Oh. I wanted to kill this one.
Ah,
Yeah, no, not
right,
useful.
I didn't even see what it was.
It's a block. It makes you invincible for like up to 40 seconds, I think. Maybe 20. But it's not useful in the rest of this run.
I just really realized it, but you can see where the enemy belongs to by with the background.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
So here we have an enemy of the chapter 3.
Magic Blobs alert. The round ones deal the most damage, but they are the ones with the fewest amount of HP, so you can take care of them pretty fast. Let's go.
And boost of damage for this level up.
See how these enemies go up and down? When they are at the top of the pattern, I can't hit them. There's not enough room. So I have to wait before I can jump on them. With the crouching, even with the crouching, I would have to wait. Okay, so this is Blast RNG. So you can spam Blast RNG in the chat. There's only one more chance. This pike enemy is the faster one to take care of. So yeah, these ones you need 2 bombs, and it's incredibly slow.
That's
And you have
not
3 of them.
good.
Bless RNG. Thank you. Okay, that wasn't the worst, but that was very close. Just imagine you are on PB pace by like 30 seconds, and it all comes down to this. Like, it's kind of quite painful. Okay. See?
That can cure poison.
Yep. As I told you, all the enemies that can deal poison always drop an item. So that was one good thing, that the devs were like, okay, cool, that's even better. Like this game in general, they made it quite easy, you know, so that children can play it without any problem. So, you know, this kind of details helps a lot. That's why I was not worried once I got poisoned. Alright. Oh, that's great. So you see you have 2 types of enemies in this room, Magic Koopas and Koopa Trolls. Koopa Trolls are a pain to defeat because they have a lot of defense. You would need 3 boomer hits. And you already know that boomer takes a long time to use. But yeah, that was like near to perfect RNG. Now in this room, you know, when I talked about these helicopter enemies, and I told you it's a pain when they go to 3D. Well, it's exactly that in this room. The strategy is just to ignore them until they go back to 2D. Is it gonna work? Okay, I got one. Let's go. Okay, ninjas are very hard to predict. They jump around kind of randomly. And they also can turn into bombs to avoid the damage. So it could take a while before you can defeat them. And it's all random. Hey. It makes them one of the most hated enemies in the Untitled. For good reason. Alright. Remember the shell shock I got at the very beginning? We'll use it right now. I intentionally miss the action command so that I can do this and get a huge combo and a lot of points. Okay.
Yeah, we have seen that hypothetically in Balbas to
Okay.
5,000 per enemy, which is really good.
Yeah, I got a lot of points because of that.
You can imagine 400, it's a stack for Henry and me, and the 400 like 20 times, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's 200 enemies, 200 points per enemy there. And okay. 2 boomer hits on this one. It's a 50-50. Okay.
If
I missed the
you
bomb
get
anyway.
it.
Okay.
And it's
I missed the 50-50. Okay. 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 Never mind. So if you run before you jump, you get a slightly higher jump, which can actually make the difference, like in this setting. So that's why I was careful to run. Thank you. Thank you, game. That was really thoughtful. As you might expect, like, I'm really happy when I get good RNG in a ninja room. This is the last one with ninjas. I hope they don't have the key. The golden ones are the worst. Like they go crazy fast. It's just impossible to predict where they're gonna go. Okay, they had the key. I didn't get much trouble, which is cool.
I'm sorry to ask. I don't want to miss the timer. So when does the run end? Is it when you reach 100 or?
No.
No. Okay.
It's gonna be after the final boss when I enter the pipe. When
Okay.
the screen goes completely black.
Okay. Thank you.
Problem? Okay. So the door should be up there. Yeah, it is. It's always there. You see, it's a pretty naughty spot because you have to go all the way around. So you have to know about this. Like, you take a note, room 94. You have to go all over.
And we only have 5 room remaining before the boss. So.
Now we're pretty sure to finish by now, unless I screw up the final boss completely.
We didn't take too many damage on this one. On this run, I mean.
It still took too soon.
Okay.
Room 99 could be kind of problematic. So let's wait until I'm done with room 99. Okay, good. Whew. All right, coming in room 97, kind of a troll room. You only have one enemy, the weakest in the entire game.
And is there any reason why they do this? Why they did this?
I mean, why not?
Okay.
You would've-
Technical break.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Before the
expect
2
that.
last one.
Yeah, see, this is the room where I needed an item
Yeah.
to go faster. Actually, you don't need to do what's shown on screen. You can just do that.
We can take the last
good.
word as an advertisement before about what's gonna happen on this one and the last one.
Okay. Room 99. Magic Blobs. The worst enemies.
Hey, but totally open still. So less problem with the door. But
Okay. Go away. Thank you.
and we
God.
go on the final boss. Up.
Alright. Now we're in room 100. Only the final boss remains. And it
Yeah.
might look similar.
Yeah, if you were here 1 hour earlier, you'll probably already see him. Yeah, with a different palette.
That always doesn't take the same amount of time.
It actually takes slightly longer. Instead of hitting the antenna 3 times per phase, we have to hit the antenna 10 times. So it's 10 times 3.
And I didn't talk about skipping some of the animation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of nervous
And,
because
and you
I don't really want to die.
and you do a spinning show, and you come back to Gus.
At this point, I think the best thing is to let you concentrate, focus, and
Yeah, it's really scary because this boss deals 10 damage. I should be fine. I have healing items. I have a life room. I shouldn't be taking any damage if I get the strat right. So again, we go on their back. Remember the fire bursts we bought in 1-2? We're gonna use them right now because each fire burst deals 5 hits. So it's 5 times 2. By doing that, we're done with the first phase. With the 2 next phases, I'm gonna switch to Peach finally and try to focus a little bit. I'm gonna try to jump on the antenna again. Got it. Okay, only one more phase to go. We're gonna do the same.
I thought this time his head was further behind of his stage. Doesn't look like the case.
Okay,
And GG.
nice. It's not time yet. Still have to go through another cutscene. Get the,
But it was a last fight.
Yeah.
Just remain cutscene.
just let me get my reward.
yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna wait for you to say times.
Alright,
And level up, GG.
weird place to level up. Yeah, the reward for completing the flip side pit is to get Dashel, a pixel that makes you go twice as fast, which sounds interesting
Best pixel
in
ever.
speedrunning, but unfortunately we're not getting Dashel in any percent because it's taking way too much time. Like, as you saw, like it took me.
There's a backup pixel who do a similar job but is less faster, and it's in the current run.
Time is coming up. 3, 2, 1, time. Alright. Whew. We did it.
GG, 131. Pretty good time.
You can't like I'm so nervous right now. This is a really good time. It's like 3rd on the leaderboards on 30. The one went really well. I got RNG at the very beginning, but overall I was very solid. So yeah, I'm not gonna complain at all. I hope this was a good show. I'm just gonna give a shout out to the whole Super Paper Mario Speedrun community, mainly Zacklink, Castle Warrior, Anim Flash, JCR, and Yoshizilla, which are currently grinding for the any person record. If you didn't know about it, the top 3 on the leaderboards in any person, they got a PB. They all 3 got a PB in these 3 past days. So yeah, it's really active right now. So if you like the game, we're an open community, pretty small, less than 10 people. But yeah, there's not many opportunities to present this game in marathon settings because this category is really painful to run with all the RNG on the risk. Any person is 4 hours long. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave you guys with the rest of the marathon. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, thank you. And coming up next, we have a Mario Party 2 with a Scrub Casual who's gonna do the roller coaster on hard. So
Oh,
stay
yeah.
tuned.